There's some conversations, Natalie Susi. It is Natalie Susi. Did I get that right?
You got it. Two first names.
Two first names. Hey, no. You got one first name. You got one last name. We got to get it right. There's some conversations I look forward to. The pursuit of happiness is one of them. And I know you're going to bring that conversation to us. And you got a bio that's very extensive, very well written, but I'm not going to read it. So just for you and I, while we're in the green room, give me the backstory. Like, who is Natalie Susi, and what are you up to these days?
Well, thank you for having me here. I'm so blessed and honored. I love what you're doing here, and happy to meet you all. Basically, the short version of a long story, as you said, the bio is descriptive. Is basically, I'm a teacher by trade and by heart, as cliche as that sounds. I have been teaching invisible students since I was 5 years old. I'm an only child. I love the act of teaching. It's what I'm meant to do here. And I was teaching at San Diego State. I got laid off in the budget cuts, and I was drinking a margarita, and I thought I could make it better. And I started a company in the food and beverage industry. I had no idea what I was doing. I just was a happy, optimistic person that thought I could make a business, and I was always interested in being an entrepreneur. So started that company. I ran it. I sold it in 2014. And then I woke up one day and was like, I need to get back into the classroom. And I started teaching. And now I teach a class called The Pursuit of Happiness. It's a writing and communications class. And I'm a business coach and a consultant in the same kind of content for corporate as well.
Wow. And what should folks expect on this particular episode? I mean, I know we're going to talk about the pursuit of happiness. And I'm just curious, can you kind of frame the conversation for folks that are listening? Like, what is the pursuit of happiness? And is that even possible? But what are we going to be talking about on this particular conversation?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the three things today would be, what is your definition of happiness? What does that look and sound and feel like in your life? How do you shift mindset, and how do you come to the beliefs that you have? And then also the conscious communication around how to navigate all of that stuff so you can create authentic, win-win, genuine connections with everybody in all your communication situations. You can be happier and more connected.
Now, you talk about being happier. You talk about being more connected. There was a gentleman by the name of Eric Swanson. And Eric Swanson is someone that connected you and I together. And when he connected you and I together, that was something that he didn't have to do, but he did it anyway. Talk for a moment about the power of collaboration, working together when you don't have to, and talk about Habitude Warrior and Eric Swanson. Thanks a lot, Eric, if you're listening.
Yes, thank you. Eric Swanson is one of my favorite people. I call him the master authentic connector. He is one of those people whose gift is to connect people. It's quite simple. And he likes to create connections where he thinks people are going to help one another and people are going to propel each other forward. He has an in-person conference. Everything is virtual, of course, right now, but it's called Habitude Warrior. And I have to say, 2019 was a challenging year for me. I always tell the story around Eric, and I can share more of those challenges. But it was a challenging year for me. We teach what we need to learn. So just because I teach the pursuit of happiness does not mean I am happy all the time.
Oh, I like that.
I struggle with things just like everybody else. We teach what we need to learn. And I would say every good business thing that happened to me in 2019 somehow relates back to him. I tell him this story all the time. And his first conference that I went to was sort of the shift for me in some of the things I was challenged with. Some of the people and the concepts I learned at that helped me break through a personal ditch moment that I was experiencing in 2019. So I give a lot of credit to him and his conference, and I highly recommend it for everybody.
Shout out to my man, Eric Swanson. Everyone go over to habitudewarrior.com. Again, www.habitudewarrior.com, man, doing some amazing things. We certainly appreciate them connecting you and I together. Just another quick question behind the scenes in the green room. I'm curious, not what your big why is. Everyone asks the question, the big why, but what's your purpose in life right now? Like, what mission are you on?
It's a beautiful question. So my mission is to help everybody understand how communication works so they can feel seen and heard and valued in every communication situation that they're in. And so that they can create that space for other people as well. Because if we were all communicating from a place of love, and if we were all consciously communicating, we would have a better planet. We would all be able to function much easier.
You know, I love it. I agree. I love it 100%. Look, I'm getting the cue. What's up, Karen? What's up, Jason? What's up, Gerard? How you doing? The folks are tuning in right now. Mary, it's always a pleasure. You're in for a treat. Crystal, get ready. We got to get going, by the way. Natalie Susi. She has two first names. Natalie Susi. We got to get going. So we got to get going. Kick this off in 5. That's what you tell me. 4. It's the fun part. 3, 2, 1. Now it is officially showtime. We're kicking it off. Let's get ready to have a good time. Promise I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Love you. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Shay Brown.
Mic check, mic check.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Yes. Yeah.
And they stay there. And they stay there, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win.
Well, it's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue-focused late-night show in the country where we're on a mission. And our mission is to empower. Our mission is to inspire. And our mission is to provide you, that's right, you, not me, but you, the entrepreneur, with all of the resources necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And I believe you have 3 visions, and I love to share. I think we all live with 3 visions. First, we have a vision for ourselves. The food we want to eat, the clothes we want to wear, the car we want to drive. And it takes resources. That means it takes revenue, by the way. And then we have a second vision, I believe, and that vision is for our loved ones, the ones that we care the most about, the ones that we want to write a check to support their mortgage. Maybe like me with Mother Dear, where you enjoy sending groceries to her home. I can't go in her house right now, but I can take groceries to the doorstep, and it means a lot to be able to do that. And maybe for others of you, you want to send your kids to a school of your choice, and that's important. And then you have a third vision, I believe, that I love to share, and that's a vision for the people you were called to serve. And if you're sitting right now and you've got this vision, and you might be like, well, maybe you're a believer or not. I happen to be a believer, but maybe you're like Noah in the Bible, and whether you believe it or not, you will be able to relate to this. And Noah comes out there, and he shows up, and someone says, Noah, there is no hammer. What? There's no hammer? I don't have any resources. Noah, check 2. There are no nails. No nails? Oh my gosh. What am I to do? I don't have any resources. Noah, I hate to report this to you, my friend. Good buddy, but there are no wood and there is no people. Good luck on this journey. Oh my gosh, he has no resources. That might be you. You've got a big vision. You've got a mission. God's giving you everything you need, but you can't execute it because it's much bigger than you. You need revenue to buy the resources. If that's you, then get ready, because Natalie Susi is here, and she's here to talk about the pursuit of happiness and how to do that.
Oh, wow. That was beautiful.
Hey, that's what you're here for. That's why you showed up, not me. How are you doing today? Are you in San Diego?
You know what? I've been in San Diego for 13 years, but I'm in Delaware with my parents tonight.
You're safe.
For the time.
The good news is you're safe in Delaware. I'm in Washington, D.C. Wonderful, wonderful, fun, wonderful. Thanks for joining. You're talking about the pursuit of happiness. And I don't want to sound like a Debbie Downer, but in a time like this, we've never seen these times, uncharted waters. How does someone, I'll ask this question, is the pursuit of happiness still possible? And if so, how?
That's such a beautiful question. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think what I've been saying about this lately is, we all know, accept, and believe that when we're in the middle of what I call a ditch moment, so it's a dark, difficult, challenging, frustrating moment in life, when you feel like you're in a ditch and you don't know how far down you are and you don't know how you're going to get out of it. we all know, accept, and believe on some level that our ditch moments lead us to bigger, brighter things, where we've learned things, we've grown from it, we've bonded with the people that have gotten through us, those moments with us, and we understand that they lead us to bigger, brighter moments, and we become the heroes of those stories instead of the victims. And we end up saying things like, if I hadn't experienced that thing, I wouldn't be here today, right? We all have those stories. We have to kind of get into this mindset, or I invite you to consider how you could get in this mindset now of just saying that we're in a collective ditch moment right now. We're in a collective ditch moment right now. We are all in a cocoon metaphor. I love that metaphor of the cocoon and the butterfly, because I believe that there's a potential and a possibility that we're all in one of those moments right now, and we will actually come out on the other side. So if you could, the first step, I think, in still finding the happiness and in the pursuit of happiness, even in a moment like this, is to consider how that could be possible, how there's potential and possibility and positive outcomes for this ditch moment that we're all in right now. That's sort of the first mindset shift. The other mindset shift that I've been using too is to remember that this is just a moment in time, and that change is constant. Change is the only thing that's constant, and this will not look this way forever. And this is not going to be, quarantine life is not going to be what we'd have to deal with forever. So that's the first piece. I can keep going on.
No, I love what you're saying there. I'm just curious, because I know you get so excited, and I love the topic, the pursuit of happiness. I probably should have slowed down, but I just jumped right into it and should have asked to kind of define the pursuit of happiness, and maybe define the formula that leads to that. So we have some framework of what we're talking about, because it's not just pie in the sky. It's something that's real. It's something that's tangible, and it's something that you teach to make sure it's possible. So talk about what is the pursuit of happiness, and how does that relate to conversations?
Yeah, absolutely. So the pursuit of happiness, like happiness is this elusive word, right? We all know that we want to be, or we all kind of feel that we want to be happy, but we're not quite sure what that looks and sounds and feels like, really. It's a big elusive word. When I talk about the pursuit of happiness with my students, I say, how often are you, the formula around it is to navigate how often you're in the present moment, right? Because everything good, everything that's possible, all the possibility is in the present moment. And that's kind of annoying to hear when you're struggling with this stuff sometimes, right? But that is really the truth. There's a reason why all the gurus in all the lands over thousands of years say that meditate and be present, so that you can get in the present moment and have all the possibilities happen right here. So you can assess your happiness level in any given moment if you can just stand and get grounded and feel into your body. Like, what am I feeling right now? Am I heavy somewhere? Do I feel there's pain somewhere in the body? Like, how do I get into the present moment and feel into my body where I'm at? Am I coming from a place of fear? Am I coming from a place of love? There's a lot to uncover here that I can continue to get into, but really presence is all about, the pursuit of happiness is all about being in the present moment.
Now, can you relate being in the present moment to, let's talk about real life, if I can, for a moment. I know that I found myself, probably not anyone else watching, but I found myself not saying distracted, but trying to be present, but my brain keeps pulling me, right? So 1 minute I want to see what's going on television, because I want to hear what the latest and greatest is. And the next minute I try to leave that and come back, but then my phone rings and someone's sharing news that's just taking place with a loved one or someone they care about. And then I put it down. Then I get an email from someone saying, did you hear this? And then I want to check social media, but yet I want to be present in what I'm working on. So I guess my question is, in a time like this, how can you be present and yet compassionate? Is that possible? Are those two different pieces? Talk about that for a moment for folks that are going through that right now. That's really happened. That's like real stuff.
You know what? Absolutely. And I think the thing to really get here is that I always want to be really clear and transparent on this. Like, I don't have the answers, right? It's just, I'm sharing the stuff that I'm doing to get my mindset wrapped around this right now. It's a ditch moment for me too. I feel scared. I feel frustrated. I feel, challenged and scared by I'm in a fear-based state sometimes too. And so I think what the best way that I have found to navigate around this is asking myself the question, and this is again a really challenging thing to do when you're in a fear-based state, but to first understand why we're feeling the way that we're feeling, right? So we're in a moment of time that's super uncertain. We have our finances are at risk, our health is at risk, and we're unclear about how long it's going to last. So all the things that are happening are perfect triggers. It's a perfect sort of cocktail for people to be put in fight or flight mode and go back to like sort of their cave person, right? Because if we were cave people right now, this is the thing that causes you to fight or flight. It puts you in survival mode. So when you're in survival mode or a fear-based state, you have cortisol running through your system. You have the adrenaline, it's the adrenaline chemical, breaks down your immunity. It also causes you to come from a reactive place instead of a proactive space. So fear-based triggers and emotions and those experiences cause you to come from a clouded space when you're trying to navigate life, right? So just the awareness and understanding. I think our internet, guys, sorry about that. It looks like
That's fine. You're good. Go ahead.
hesitating for a moment.
You're back. You're cool.
I apologize. I don't know what's happening here, but so the first piece I think is just acknowledging, like, okay, I'm in this wonky state right now. I'm feeling stressed. I'm in a fear-based state, and being accepting of it. Like, it's okay. I get it. It makes sense why I'm here. And then the next piece is trying to understand how you can come from a love-based place. So I'll just use an example. I think a lot of people right now, like what I'm hearing over and over again is people are like, I'm quarantined with like someone I wouldn't normally be quarantined with for this long, and they're making me crazy. Mm-hmm. Like, this situation is making me crazy. And all of our triggers and patterns and stuck points are popping up, right? Because we're all getting triggered because we're all in a fear-based state at one point or another during the day. Mm-hmm. So trying to understand, like, how do I see this person from a loving, compassionate place? And the thing that I do is, this is a longer story too, but to look at the person and try to see where it's coming from. So I look at a person that's pissing me off, and I look at them and see their inner child, right? And I can explain that more. But basically all of our triggers come from that space. They all come from when we were a young child. And if we can kind of see the person in front of us as that version and have some compassion for them, we can shift from a fear-based place to a love-based place and avoid reaction and try to be proactive with our communication. And that kind of leads us into the communication content.
No, I love it. I love it. That's spot on. It's a good time to move right into communication, how communication is very important as it relates to the pursuit of happiness. Because earlier in the green room, you were talking about, yes, you're happy, but then there has to be this level of communication, but then there has to be a relationship. And I think below that has to be this level of communication as the foundation. I might have said that backwards, but I did the best I could. You go ahead and you go ahead and break it on down for us so we can understand that, because I want them to see how one precept builds on the next that builds on the next. I mean, that's very, very important. It's not just a hokey dokey, let's just go sing Kumbaya and we're all going to be happy. Right. There's a process, there's a system, there's a structure, there's a sequence, and this is what Natalie Susi does best. Yes. So talk a little bit about that if you would.
Yeah, thank you for that leading, because I think it's really important to tell people, like, this is not, it sounds like pie in the sky. Oh, come from a place of love instead of fear. Well, how the F do we do that when we're really frustrated and pissed? So, and going through some super challenging times none of us have gone through before. So the way I sort of framework it is, look, we all say that we would like to be happier. One of the things that causes us to be happier and feel happier in our life is the quality and connection of our relationships. And all relationships, regardless of whether they're romantic, professional, friendship, whatever, family related, they all start and end with communication. So if you can put a system and a process in place to navigate communication from a really loving, authentic place, you can create genuine, authentic connections with everybody and kind of shift everything that you're experiencing, your communication situation, so that it works out for everybody. And it doesn't always work out, right? But we can attempt to do that. I get that. It doesn't always work out for me either. But the more you go through this process, the easier it gets and the more success you have with it.
You're spot on. You're right on. We come back. I'm going to ask her if she'll break down just one more tier of being conscious communications. conscious communication, if I got that right, if she'll go ahead and share that. And this is really, really important. At the end of the day, we are communicating with our inner self and we're communicating with our outer self as well. I'll ask her about that as soon as we come back. We're going to take a break. We're going to head on over to the one and only Dr. Kim Warren Martin. And I think it's so appropriate. She talks about don't complain, be grateful. She's down in Little Rock, Arkansas. We'll be back in less than 2 minutes. And yes, let's go ahead and break that thing down. Let's understand what conscious communication. We'll find out what that's all about. We'll be back in just a moment. Take it away, Dr. Kim Warren Martin.
Hey there, all you rockin' happy entrepreneurs. Today is your January 1st. This is Dr. Kim Warren Martin, founder of Successful and Fulfilled, bringing you my thought of the week here on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. This week's thought is, don't complain, be grateful. Whenever there's an opportunity to complain, there's an equal opportunity for gratitude. Earlier this week, my husband came up to me and he was rubbing his hands together to let me know how dry they were. Literally, it sounded like sandpaper. Well, I started doing the same thing, and guess what? I got the same sound effect. Just because we're having to wash our hands so much these days and use hand sanitizer so often. So as we talked and lamented over how dry our hands were, it dawned on me that there is a blessing in these dry hands. So one of the things I thought was, thank you for my hands. Thank you for soap. Thank you for running water. Thank you for mobility to turn the water on and off. Thank you for eyesight to even see the change in them. And thank you for feeling in my hands to know that they're dry. And finally, yes, thank you for lotion. Whenever you see, you sense yourself being negative or complaining, even slightly, whatever the situation, find something to be grateful for. Let's say, for example, you didn't get the deal, you didn't close the sale, it fell through. Well, find at least 7 things you can say thank you for in the situation, such as thank you for my business. Thank you for the opportunity to solve someone's problem. Thank you for a product or service that's needed. Thank you for my phone to even make the call. Thank you for the ability to talk. Thank you for the ability to hear, even if it was no. And thank you for the lessons I learned from this experience. 1 Thessalonians 5:18 says, be thankful in all circumstances. So in all circumstances, find something to be grateful for. This is Dr. Kim Warren Martin, founder of Successful and Fulfilled, with the thought, don't complain, be grateful. Until next time, make it a wonderful day. Back over to you, Shay.
Well, it's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome back to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue focused late night show in the country where we're on a mission. And our mission is to empower, our mission is to inspire, and our mission is to provide you. That's right, you, the person that gets up every single day. You, the one that want to have more meaning in the world. You, the person trying to have more impact in the world, to make sure you have all the resources that are necessary to execute the vision that you have. It takes resources. It takes revenue. It takes people. It takes systems. It takes automation. And more importantly, it takes communication in order to get to what? The pursuit of happiness. And it's not pie in the sky. Let's dream, dream, dream. No, she really does teach some 6-step method and really get there, by the way. Take a moment for those folks that are hearing for the first time. I want to know what in the LL Cool J is conscious communication. It sounds like something from far on the hill, like that big sign you have behind you. Faith in mountains, make today great. So
like
tell
that
us.
sign?
Yeah, we can see the sign in the back. They're peeking it out. They say, hey, she got making a great day.
Makes today amazing.
Make today amazing. Absolutely. But it all starts with communication. That's what you say. That's the foundation. So what is conscious communications? And we didn't get to that. And what is it? And then why is it so important?
So when I talk about conscious communication, it's really the strategy for creating authentic, genuine, win-win connections for everyone all the time, right? And so that's really the goal. So you have to get in sort of a love-based place around that, or what I'll say is coming from a place of I want to be feel seen, heard, and loved, and I want that other person to feel that way too. And I genuinely am coming from that place before I step into a communication with them. So you're coming from a place of love instead of fear, with good intentions, authentic, genuine connection intentions before you step into a communication situation.
Why do you enjoy this so much? I mean, the more I hear you talk about it, the more I hear this passion, and it just builds and builds and builds. And yeah, I get it. You were a professor over at the University of California in San Diego. And yeah, I understand you got paid to teach people to do this. But where does this passion come from for you to really go out there and pursue this and really want to change the world?
It's a great question. I always say that there's a quote, and I need to remember who it's by because I have to give credit where it's due, and feel free to look it up, guys that are listening. I use this quote all the time, and I really need to know this person's name. But it's we teach what we need to learn. We teach best what we most need to learn. And one of my life challenges has been communicating. And when communication is cut off, or when it gets kind of wonky, I really feel pained about it. So I am absolutely teaching what I need to learn, and I have gone through the pain and suffering and torture that is when you don't feel like you're getting to communicate, or where you're not getting communicated with. My relationships with men have filtered a lot of this. And I always say that my business breakups and my personal breakups is what led me to teach.
Mm-hmm. You're fine. Don't worry. It's going to come back in just a second. Might just been a quick freeze.
I'm so sorry. I'm wondering if it's like I've been on calls all day and it's been fun.
It's okay. It's look, just relax. Get back and saying that you were teaching it, and you left me at the good part. You said something about men, and then you disappeared. Everybody parked up like, hey, wait, what is it? What's going on with this?
I said, I really feel like every single call I've been on today has not been delayed. I really apologize, guys. So my computer is tired. That's like what my parents would say. They'd be like, oh, maybe the Wi-Fi is out because like everybody's using it. Like, no, that's not a thing. It doesn't work this way anymore. Anyway, I said that most of the lessons that I've learned have all been because of business breakups and personal breakups have fueled all of the content that I have studied and learned and become obsessed with. And creating conscious communication is part of that.
Mm-hmm. And in this journey that you've been on, it's been quite some time now. Who have you looked up to that's kind of helped inspire you and encourage you and been that beacon of person that you would want to most emulate?
Oh, that's a great question. So there's so many, right? Personal development, my teachers has evolved, right? So my first, if you want to talk about like, what are the best tools in the personal development space? Like my journey started with Landmark, moved into Tony Robbins. Then I learned some content around NLP, and in the spiritual space, some of the personal people. Of course, I have mentors, personal mentors and stuff as well that have taught me everything I know in business. And that's Cheryl and Max. But in the space that you guys might know, that tools that you can use, I would say like in the spiritual space for communication things have been Abraham Hicks, Gabrielle Bernstein, Marie Forleo, Jack Canfield. The Success Principles was a huge game changer in my life. Think and Grow Rich, like the Napoleon Hill Foundation, those kinds of big figures have been, I could talk about those books and that journey, but they've been instrumental in the growth.
Wow. Super exciting, man. This is like incredible. The pursuit of happiness. And you really believe in your heart of heart it's possible. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you, all the gurus and all the lands that say the things that you really get irritated saying, like go meditate, come from a place of love, all the stuff that I'm saying right now, when some people are in a certain space and like, this woman is crazy or it's crap, or they get frustrated, they have a trigger around it. I used to be one of those people. And I'm here to say that like, the more you accept the current space that you're in, like accept the emotion that you're feeling instead of trying to resist it, and trust and have faith that things are working out for you and in your favor, the happier you will feel. The more present you'll be able to be, the better connections and relationships you'll have. You'll feel less angry. It's really all about acceptance and trust and faith. And it's really challenging to get there sometimes.
Yeah. I agree with you 100%. This is truly amazing. Speaking of that, we come back. I'm gonna ask about her thoughts and comments around today is my January 1st and how folks can get a start and the first start as they go along this journey. And I'm also going to find out how we can best connect with her and what type of clients she works with. Don't worry. We're going to get into that in just a moment. We're going to go over to Dorsey Hill, and Dorsey Hill is in Houston, Texas, and she talks about you are amazing. We'll be back in less than 2 minutes. We'll find out today is your January 1st.
Hello, hi, howdy! It's your girl, Dorsey Hill, the founder of the soon-to-be open to the public Healthy Happy Fun Life Academy, and I'm so excited to be back in the Happy Entrepreneur Tribe. Why, you ask? I'm glad you asked. Because it's the best day ever, and my dog agrees. Yeah, they have to come in and get in on the action. Mama can't have all the action by herself. It's our best day ever. Why? Because it's January 1! And there's something even more special about today because it's my birthday! It's my birthday and my January 1 all rolled into one. Woo-hoo! Okay, now that we got that nonsense out of the way, I really am excited to be back here with you guys. And yes, it's my birthday. I'm having a blast. Had a piece of fabulous cake that my mom used to make. She's no longer with us, so I have a piece of cake in her honor, which is German chocolate. Oh, so I might be a little extra crazy because of all the sugar. It's okay, we're just going to roll with it. I'm not going to give you a tip, a tool, a trick, or a resource. All I'm going to do is give you a gift from me to you on my birthday and just remind you that you are amazing. You're doing a great job. And I know you don't hear that often, and you probably don't tell yourself that. So my gift to you on my birthday is to remind you that you're awesome, you're amazing, you're doing a fabulous job because let's face it, not everyone has the wherewithal, the stamina, even the want to start a business, keep it going no matter what, and to make it something amazing. And you are doing it. I think you guys are amazing and you need to know that. So that's my gift to you on my birthday. Remember, you're amazing. And you can save this part of the video. Let's not tell Shay. You don't have to watch all the rest of the video except this one. Save this part, okay? Shh, don't tell Shay. Anyway, you can save this and remind yourself that you are amazing. You're doing a great job, and I'm super excited to be here with you. And as always, my wish for each and every one of you is that you're happy, you're healthy, and having a ton of fun in this life and business that you're creating. My biggest Texas love and hugs to each and every one of you on the best day ever. Celebrate. Mwah! I'll see you later. Bye.
Well, it's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome back to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue-focused late-night show in the country where we're on a mission. And that mission is to empower, the mission is to inspire, and the mission is really just to make sure you have all the resources. You have everything you need, all the marketing, all the branding, all the automation, all the sales, all the social media, and all the things you need on the inside to make sure you can take care of everybody on the outside. And so with that being said, I want to take a moment, go into a segment we call Today is My January 1st. And for those folks that know what Today is My January 1st is, you can look right below the video. What's up, Anthony Abram? You can look right below the video. What's up, Lene? You can look right below the video. What's up, Darlene? And you can write those words. Today is my January 1st. And for those folks that are just joining for the very first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. Today is my January 1st represents that moment. And there's probably 1,000 plus moments a day where you can make a decision. And that decision could forever change the trajectory of your life. You either decide you're going to work out at home or you go sit on the couch. You either decide you're going to eat hamburgers and French fries or you go to the refrigerator, you open it up and you look inside and there's some spinach. I'll have some of that. There's some kale. I'll have some of that. There's some Brussels sprouts. I'll have some of that. And you take that and you feel so much better. So it's a do-over. It's a fresh start. And so my question to the one and only, the one we're talking about, the pursuit of happiness, is when you hear those words, today is my January 1st, what does it mean to you?
Well, so I love this question. It's such a beautiful concept. I think when I think about this, I think about the day that I decided to get on purpose again and get back to teaching and teach this content. And I can share that story if you'd like to hear it.
Absolutely. How can you just say, I could share it if you'd like to hear it? Of course we want to hear the story. We don't know the story. That's why you're here, to tell us the story.
I'll tell you the whole story.
Natalie, Susi, tell us the story.
So I'll tell you the story instead of the teachings, right? The story here is even more fun. So
yes.
As I said earlier, a lot of my content stems from or was fueled by business breakups or relationship breakups. And, I'm 36. I have spent half my 30s single and half my 30s in relationships. And each of those breakups that I had launched me into, they were ditch moments that were very, very different. And they launched me into incredible stuff in business that I teach now. And so the January 1st moment was my 33rd birthday. I had just left LA. I had just decided, I had sold my company, and the company that brought my company, I worked with them for about 15 months, and I was dating somebody in LA who said to me, you are not going to be able to love someone unless you are doing what you love to do. So I was having a challenge being really open in the relationship because I had all this other stuff that I was trying to figure out in my life too. And he was right. And he launched me into, I give him credit for launching me back into my purpose and teaching. And so I left LA and I woke up in San Diego, and I was staying at a friend's. I had an apartment. It was her place. She wasn't there, and I was renting it. And I woke up on my 33rd birthday. I was so sad. And I realized in that moment that I was not doing my purpose. I was not on.
Mm-hmm. You were not on purpose?
So
mm-hmm.
I was not on purpose. I was not doing what I was meant to do on the planet. And my friend texted me at this exact time. And she said to me, she said, I need you to go watch the Tony Robbins documentary on Netflix. And it was on my birthday. I had set my phone aside. I wasn't really taking any messages. I just wasn't in a good space. Mm-hmm. And it was all this documentary was so meaningful. I don't know if any of you guys have seen it. I highly recommend it. It's called I'm Not Your Guru. And in that process of watching that on my birthday, on my 33rd birthday, I just started to get really clear about who I am on the planet, the content I want to teach, the things that I want to do. And then I read, here's another resource for your listeners. I read The Success Principles that summer. So I watched this documentary. I was listening to a ton of Tony Robbins stuff. I read The Success Principles, and it's a Jack Canfield book. And Jack Canfield is the guy who started Chicken Soup for the Soul. And inside of that book, he teaches you how to do a goal setting exercise that helps you set your intention. And so I followed this exercise, and I wrote on this note card, which he describes, right on this white note card. And I said, I will do what I love to do every day, and I will feel happy and purposeful. And I felt into that. I meditated on that. I said that affirmation every morning. I read it every night. And I just visualized what it would feel like to be on purpose, to be doing what I'm meant to be doing on the planet. And 90 days later, I was offered to teach the pursuit of happiness. It was like bizarre. And I think I manifest, I take credit for manifesting that whole situation. And that all launched out of a painful moment. All of this beautiful stuff launched out of a really challenging moment. And that would be the life altering, like the day that I decided I was going to do, my January 1st day would be that day, my 33rd birthday.
I love it. Yeah. Great story. Thanks so much for being authentic. Thanks for sharing, by the way. Certainly appreciate that. And in your sharing, you say so much and things that we need to do in the pursuit of happiness. Mm-hmm. My question to you is, what do you teach folks, or what do you share with folks in order for them to be consistent? You probably heard before that consistency is the key. Consistency is the key. Consistency is the key. And having said that, what do people struggle with? Well, consistency. So how do you teach folks, or what do you say to folks in order for them to hashtag stay the course and be consistent?
Yeah. So it all comes back to, again, all the gurus and all the lands over thousands of years say the same thing, and we get irritated with it. But it all, for me personally, comes back to meditation. I meditate every morning. It's only a 10 to 12 minute meditation. I have a couple of different ones that I choose from. They're all guided, and they help me stay consistently in the purpose, in the mission, in a love-based place, in an aligned space. There's definitely moments where I get off track, but that is my tool. That's the biggest tool I have in my belt that keeps me consistent. I also have a 5-step exercise that I take people through to do the same kind of goal setting that I just talked about. Mm-hmm. There's a whole process involved in it. It's a process I put together after reading a couple of different books on how to do this. There's a lot of different content around how to set intentions and goals and visualize and create them and make them manifest. So That's a part of the process for me, and staying consistent too, is like getting really clear on that visualization, going through my own 5-step process, and then sticking to that every day too.
I
So
love what you're doing.
things I do consistently every day.
I love what you're doing. I love how you're making a difference in the world at a time when the world needs you most. And this is very important. I mean, some folks think the pursuit of happiness is all pie in the sky, but it's not. It's possible when you get clear in what you want. My question to you next is, how can folks best connect with you? Let me get that out there. How can folks best connect with you if they want to follow you, stay in the conversation?
So I have a running story. So Instagram would be the best. It's at Natalie Susi. Just go ahead and follow me over there. I have a running story that's 24/7. I repost spiritual content, positive content. I put some videos up on occasion as well, just around this kind of content. And then if you're also interested in a free breakthrough session, you're welcome to go to my website. You just click on that first box on the homepage, and it'll take you to a form where you can fill out for a free breakthrough session. I'm happy to chat with any of your listeners.
I love it. Why do you do this? You could be spending your time doing a whole lot of things right now. You could be spending your time teaching. You could be spending time with your parents, which you're there now, all the way from San Diego. By the way, I love San Diego. By the way, but you're out there helping folks get through these very challenging times. Why do you do this?
I believe that I am here to help raise consciousness. It's just what I'm here to do. And so if I can help people understand what their triggers, their patterns, their stuck points are, if I can give them the tools to help them visualize, manifest, and create conscious communication in their lives, it will make the world a better place. We will be happier. We will all be more on purpose. We will all be raising consciousness collectively. And that's the world I want to bring a kid into. That's the world I want to be in. That's the world I want to live in. So I'm deeply passionate about helping people to raise their own consciousness for all of us.
It's a great place to be. Talk for a moment about the power of affirmations, and maybe share one or two of your affirmations that you're saying, other than what you have behind you. I did see that behind you, by the way. I did see that sign. I saw that. Yeah, we saw that. Make it an amazing day. But talk about the power of affirmations. But more importantly, what's one or two maybe affirmations or thoughts that you tell yourself in order not to lift your spirits up, but to keep you up?
Yeah, absolutely. So affirmations, if you're not super familiar, I'm sure most of your listeners are, but they're short, basic statements that usually start with an I am, and they say what you want to feel in the present moment. So I am safe, happy, healthy, and strong. I am protected by divine light. I am propelled by a divine light. Like these kinds of things in this moment are what I'm telling some of my clients and students to do because of the current situation that we're in. But affirmations, you basically just want to write down I am statements. I have my clients write down a couple of I am statements. If they're negative, like if the first statements that come off their mind are like, I am not good enough, or I am poor, or I am unmotivated, I am lazy, whatever these things, we just turn them into the positive. And then you want to just keep repeating those. You want to be in the consistent practice of repeating those because you're trying to shift your neuro pathways and belief systems that you've created over a long period of time. Affirmations help you pattern interrupt. They help you shift your mindset. They help you create new beliefs around yourself. You don't have to believe them when you're first saying them. You will eventually. You can record yourself saying them and listen to them while you're going to bed. It helps get into your unconscious more. It's what I do. So right now it's just, I am safe, happy, healthy, and strong all the days in all the ways. That's the one I read all the time right now.
I love that. Say that one more time. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, it's I am safe, happy, healthy, and strong all the days in all the ways. You could say in all dimensions. You can, but the idea is that you want to just get into a space where all the fears that you might have in this current state, it's not real. I am safe, happy, healthy, and strong in all the days and all the ways. And you just keep repeating that to yourself. And it's great to have a quick line. Like I'll say, this is just a moment in time. So whenever I feel myself getting like that fired up, like heavy, crazy, oh my God, I'm in a fear-based state, I will say this to myself, like, this is just a moment in time. This is just a moment in time. Because the only constant is change. We live in a universe where the only constant is change, and things cannot stay this way forever. They just cannot.
I love it. And that's so in harmony with one of the things we've been sharing with folks is the Happy Entrepreneur Manifesto, that we're on a mission for folks that are out there, where we put together some of our what you would call manifestos, our own declarations, our own affirmations. And our goal really is to have this word affirmations where entrepreneurs can have in front of them. And our goal is to put this in front of 10 million entrepreneurs. Now, we can't do this by ourselves. That's why I need folks like you to share it, pay this message forward, share it out to other folks. And that's the mission. Now, there's some of them on here. We call it the Happy Entrepreneur Manifesto that we really enjoy. One of them recently that I got a call about, this was last week, about 2 weeks ago, was the one on, I believe spending quality time with family is non-negotiable. And the person that found themselves at home, and he was like, look, Shay, I'm at home now more than ever, but I've been locked in my room. And I didn't realize I was like estranged from the family. So I'm home all day and night, and yet I'm seeing them less. And it kind of allowed him to come back into that. For some of you, it might be, I believe automation is the key to reclaiming my time. That's one of my favorite. I believe there is a 25th hour. It does exist. When you automate your business, you automate your processes, there are more than 1,440 minutes in a day because you have something going on and your labor is not involved. And that's a huge thing there. Very, very huge. I love that. I'll share the one that's one of our core foundations. And I'm going to show you how you get this. There's no cost. There's no charge. There's nothing to buy. There's no sell. It just says the results that show up in your life are just as important as the results that show up in your bank account. I'm going to recommend you download this, that you just look at this once a day. Text me and let me know which one resonates with you. Maybe they all do. Maybe I believe a healthy business requires a healthy me. But I like the results, obviously, because we created it. But the results that show up in your life are just as important as the results that show up in your bank account. If you're out there right now, like, hey, Shay, I just want to get my hands on it. Here's what you can do. You can just text the word manifesto. So if you're listening right now, you can just take out your cell phone, open up the messenger, pay it forward. If you get the link, share it with someone else. But text the number 202-999-3515. So you just open up your phone like you're doing right now. When now is what? Now o'clock time. So do it now. And then type in 202-999-3515. Text the word manifesto. It's one word. If you listen to the podcast and you're catching this secondhand, you can do it as well. If you're watching the replay for whatever reason, you can do this as well. So text the word manifesto to 202-999-3515. No cost, no catch. Let me know. Like when you get it, like send me a note and say, Shay, this is my favorite one here. And I want you to tell yourself that 7 times a day for the next 7 days. I believe the results that show up in your life are just as important as the results that show up in your bank account. When we come back, we're going to ask Natalie Susi. No, I got it right, by the way. She has 2 first names. Natalie Susi. To give her final thoughts. We might go rapid fire. I'm ask a couple of questions on my mind, and maybe she'll answer, maybe she won't. We'll find out. And then I'm asked to give her final comments in order to inspire, to empower you, and really to take you to an entirely different level. When these lights go off, you got to go do something. And you got to go pursue happiness, and it is yours. It belongs to you. It is your right. We're going to go over now to the one and only. They're bringing up the law of capacity. We're going over to Sean Harper. Sean Harper played in the NFL for 7 years, and he talks in a moment about the law of capacity, how important you need that in order for you to have happiness. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hi, my name is Sean Harper, motivational speaker, author, investor. I love investing in people because people has the potential of generating years of dividends. This is my January 1st. And as I'm moving in January 1st, I have to be mindful of the laws, the law of capacity. Now, if you know me, I break all the rules, but I never break laws. If you break laws, laws will break you. Laws are unchangeable. So the law of capacity is that you will grow in proportion to your environment. It reminds me of a story of a guy named Walt Disney. We all know Walt Disney, but Walt Disney started out after a couple failed ventures. He started out with Disneyland, south of Anaheim, California. And he had great success, but he had one challenge. He was landlocked. And so he couldn't expand. And so he secretly, anonymously, began to buy up land in the Orlando area. And he formed shell companies, and he brought 500 acres here, 100 acres here with this company, and maybe 2,000 acres with this company. And he went on, and a investigative journalist caught on to it, but not until he amassed over 26 to 30,000 acres. And now that man who is now deceased still has land that's not been developed. His dream was huge, but his capacity was small. One of the problems or challenges that we face as entrepreneurs, as business owners, business leaders, is that we run out of capacity. When there's stress in the business, when there's stress as an entrepreneur, it's usually one or two problems. A, you don't have the systems, or B, you have a lack of capacity. That is a spiritual law. And I often compare spiritual laws or look for evidence of spiritual laws in nature. You take a shark, put it in the fish tank, it gets this big. Take that same baby shark, put it in the ocean, it gets this big. Before you dream, or right after you dream, the first thing you do is you begin to build your capacity. Before you build up, you gotta build down. Thank you. Play to win. Bye-bye.
Well, it's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome back to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue-focused late-night show in the country, where we're on a mission. And that mission is to empower, that mission is to inspire, and that mission is to provide you, the entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And I'm excited because we've been talking to Natalie, and Natalie's been breaking it down for us. She's been sharing, you can you can reach happiness. There is a pursuit of happiness, and you can be happy at what you do when you first understand the relationships that you need to be in, and you first understand how to communicate. There's a foundation that goes to that. My question in this rapid fire segment, Natalie, we might ask one or two questions on our mind, is of all the books you read, and you being a teacher and you loving stories, of all the books you read and all the movies you've seen, what's one of the books or movies that's top of mind to you that you've learned a lesson from that impacted you that you could share with us? Now, you can't use the good book. The good book is in a Bible. It's all by itself, so you can't say the good book. But what's another book that's really had an impact on your life?
You know, I mentioned it before, but I think it bears repeating because it really was a huge, massive shift in my life, was when I read The Success Principles. The Success Principles by Jack Canfield teaches you how to get from where you are to where you want to be in the most, efficient and effective way, which is what I talk about the most. And that chapter 6 in goal setting, again, is something that I teach people. I go through a process. There's another book also called The Map. It's by a woman named Bonnie Lonsbury, and she teaches how to set intentions. So we have one that sets really clear SMART goals. The Success Principles, another book that teaches you how to set intentions, visualizations, and manifests from there. So those two pieces I kind of pull together. And the exercises that I do, I always want to give credit where it's due. And those two books were massively shifted my life.
Sure. How does Natalie expand her comfort zone? How does she find a way to do things that are just uncomfortable, if you even do that at all?
Oh, that's a great question. I'm always attempting to and intending to push myself, in things. So for me, a question that I would say is like when I do a physical activity, right? So most of the physical activity stuff that I do is like yoga. I'll do yoga. If I push myself to do a different type of physical activity, there's a process that I have to go through in order to learn how to do that. That's a very good lesson for me. I always grow quite a bit when I try to do that stuff. So like just recently, a couple weeks ago, I went rock climbing for the first time, and I was feeling like, oh my God, I'm not good at this. I've never done it before. I don't know how to do it. And all that fear popping up that happens to us when we try to do something new. And I just remembered, like, I kind of went through that process we talked about before. Like I assessed it, I acknowledged the feeling. I'm like, oh, this is just what I do when I get scared at something I'm doing for the first time. And what does that process look like? Okay, well, I need to just push myself and pick one of these walls in this building that I'm going to pick to climb up and make myself do it in order to get through that hump that I know I always go through when I'm trying to do something new for the first time.
Yeah, well, one of the things that I want to say is, one, thank you so much. It's been an honor. It's been a privilege to have this conversation. You certainly have a heart to give. You have a heart to serve. You're someone that really believes this, and you're really out in the world trying to do a good thing. So thank you for spending so much time with us. I mean, we know you can make more money, but you can never make more time. So you give us the most precious resource that you have right now. I'd be honored if you take a few moments to share your closing comments with the audience, with all the viewers that are out there. Once again, I want to thank the Eric Swanson. I want to thank Habitude Warrior for kind of connecting us together. And thank you for for being here. And thank you for being such a giver. And so I turn it over to you to have your final thoughts. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you. I think for my final thoughts, guys, I think it's just be aware that happiness there's a reason why it's called the pursuit of happiness, right? It's something that you're working towards all the time. None of us have it figured out. None of us are always feeling happy. We're all navigating ditch moments and triggers and patterns and stuck points. And the more you can assess that and acknowledge it and accept it, be in a trusting place, be in a place of faith, understanding that the universe is working for you, not against you. You can shift that mindset to a space where you can really be proactive instead of reactive and create the outcomes that you're looking for in all the situations in your life.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. I certainly appreciate it. Once again, you've been watching the Happy Entrepreneur Show with the one and only Natalie Susi. We certainly appreciate you. You are amazing. And I want every single one of you to know that we appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hitting the heart button. Thanks for sharing this message forward. I want you to know that you are amazing, that today is your January 1st. You're going to have a ditch moment, but don't worry about that. That's to the side. Today is your January 1st. You can pursue happiness. You can do that. And today is your January 1st. You can have relationships that are founded on conversations that are in alignment and harmony with who you are. And she's proven that this evening. So with that being said, make it a great day, everyone. And I promise you from the bottom of my heart, you will make some good things happen. We connect again next time. Remember this, please. Time is long. Life is short. Live in the moment and enjoy it. With that being said, God bless. We wish you success. We'll see you next time. Thanks a lot. You rock. Thanks, Natalie. Appreciate
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye. God bless. Promise I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Love you. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right,
Check.
Shay Brown.
Mic check, mic check.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Yes. Yeah.
And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win.
Thank you. God bless.